Living from our heart, living from our core, living from our power, we all get more. We are powerful.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Transformation Summit. I'm Sue Erda. I'm your host for this event, and I am one of the publishers at Powerful You Publishing. And I love what I do. I love the people that I get to work with, and I love gathering women together for the anthology books that we've created and we publish so that you can have more ease on your own life journey. And this topic, of course, for today is the Transformation Summit. We're talking about transformation, and I get the extreme honor of talking with Darnell Gouzy, who is a woman I've known for a few years now because she was also a contributing author to a previous anthology book we did in 2016, I think, The Gifts of Grace and Gratitude. And I'm so grateful that she's here with us sharing her new story, not a new story, but her story of transformation. So I'm going to read a brief introduction of Darnell, and then we'll get started talking with her. Darnell Gouzy is a biofield practitioner holding certifications in several modalities. She is recognized as a certified pranic healer with Master Choa Koksui and in neurolinguistic programming. She is also a transformation specialist and active isolated stretching stretch therapist, working in person and virtually with clients of all walks of life, including athletes in the MLB, NBA, and NFL. Darnell combines scientific and metaphysical principles to bring harmony within the mind and body to create sustainable life changes. Darnell contributed to the 2016 #1 bestseller, The Gifts of Grace and Gratitude. In 2018, she lectured to the Louisiana Student Nurses Convention on the integration of allopathic medicine and energy medicine for optimal healing and health. And Darnell, I am happy to talk to you today. How are you?
I'm doing great, Sue. Thank you so much for having me.
Good. You know, I do love talking to you just all the time. And I like these interviews because I get to introduce you to people that maybe don't know you or know some of the things you're talking about. And I know that what you have to share comes from spirit, it comes from your heart and soul. And I love that about you. So I'm excited too about your topic, the invisible door to your life's change through energy healing. Now, I'm always interested in when somebody's telling me what something invisible is. So I'm excited to hear about that from you. So let's talk about that. What is this invisible door and how can it affect our lives?
Okay. So a lot of us go through lives searching and questing, maybe looking for a shift and change, a transformation of their own, and have no real clear sense of how to attain that. We're so caught up in the physical world that we only trust in what we see, and we don't really look for the cues in the unknown spaces. So it's through our biofields that encircle and go around our bodies that we interface with the world. And the way we interface with the world creates an outcome. It creates what comes back to us.
Yeah. So you're talking about biofield. Is that the same as the aura, our auras that we had?
Yes, so the aura has a lot of information in it. There's an inner aura, outer aura, and an etheric template, which is the identical blueprint of your body. So when you have a soldier, maybe, this is in the healing aspect. Let's say you have a soldier who loses a limb in the war and he still has phantom pain. Why is it? Because the etheric template needs to be cleaned and cleared. It needs to be healed on an energetic level to allow the physical body to have this release. So when we interface with the world, it's what we hold within us, what our intentions are, what our fears are, and what that calls to us or repels from us. It can catapult us in growth or really delay us searching and questing only on an analytical perspective.
Interesting. I love that. So, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. I know that in your bio, I read about that you do energy healing, and I know you have been doing this work for quite a long time. How does energy healing assist somebody's life to change? Like, what can happen for somebody when you work with them?
Okay. So a lot of people, maybe, someone may experience a bad relationship or trauma in upbringing or post-traumatic stress. When that happens in the body, we think we move on. We may separate from that person, never seeing them again. They were very harmful to us. But what happens is if we still have energy trails and we still have the memory of the trauma in a lot of our energy field. So when we, let's say if someone has a lot of conflict on a communication level with other people, it would affect the throat, the heart, and the solar plexus. We have a natural self-defense mechanism, and it's a reactionary response, but it's put there for a purpose. So if someone is off-putting or harming me, you put up shields. And what happens is we go through life blocking and putting shields around us. So now we no longer know how to release them and let them go. And long term, all of these little moments in life create bricks that create a wall, which is now creating this blockage to my throat, blockage to the heart, blockage to the solar plexus, and people, it starts manifesting as physical ailments in the human body. So it could be, diverticulitis, cardiovascular disease, just a host of abnormalities, because every energy center in the body interfaces on the physical realm and then the emotional. Okay, so a lot of people walk around with these blockages feeling like they keep trying over and over and over again to keep starting over. Why are they having difficulty to shift and change? Because they may not know how to actually release these blocks. And that's when it's wonderful to get with a reputable energy practitioner in their region and to try and get these things cleared out. I do work in the different modalities. And what I love about the beauty in that, for me, this gift started in intuitive healing. I have, a level where I can see and know in different areas of the body. But then there's a level of other healing modalities, which are connecting to source, connecting to God, and just releasing. And what will be, will be. The beauty that I absolutely love in pranic healing is that it's scientific. It is data that's collected upon each visit, because your energy is constantly in a state of motion, shifting and changing. And when someone comes in, I do collective data collection and then make assessments. Where are the blocks? Where are the cords? Where are the drains? Are there tears, leaks, and holes in the different aspects of the energy, body, and aura? And then go in, make the adjustments, and keep retesting it until you see it's at a holding state. So by integrating the beauty of all aspects, you can, I always say Reiki is the anesthesia, is the, yin aspect, and the yang is the science and the ability of the pranic healing to affect the long-term change.
That's so interesting. So if somebody has a chronic physical ailment like a heart disease or something like that, diverticulitis that you mentioned, is that, and they keep trying to treat it physically with traditional Western medicine, is that something that maybe should be looked at from the energy healing perspective?
Absolutely. I have a client who had bronchiectasis, which is a form of lung disease, for 14 years. She had been everywhere. Her brother is a physician. Her nurse is her daughter is an internist. And within 5 sessions, she had testing repeated. She had 22% increase in breath in the base lung, 12% increased function in the mid lung in 5 sessions. So it's amazing. The recognition as a certified pranic healer is a level of a quantification, authenticity testing, and you actually do submissions of cases for review that are analyzed so closely. It's almost like surgical notes on a step-by-step process, and to confirm your abilities in your training.
Yeah, that's great. I have a friend who's a pranic healer, and she actually trains people to be pranic healers. She's been working with, or was working with, Master Gouzy for many, many years. And she was training nurses. She was actually hired by a hospital to work with them for years. And so they were doing this work, which I think is so beautiful and so amazing that, it feels like there's hope for all of us, when Western medicine and Eastern medicine can be combined that way. And it really is beautiful. So let's get back to biofield energies. Is there something else that you didn't tell me about them? Because I know that, you work with them almost, is that exclusively what energy healing is working with biofield energy? Is that how it works?
Yes, a lot of people, energy practitioners, let's say Reiki masters or healing touch, quantum touch, there's so many out there that are available. And it all interfaces with the biofield of the body. The biofields are in motion, they're within and around us, and they go in. So the world's concept can grasp it greater looking at acupuncture. And in a way, the biofields interface with the energy centers, which goes into the root of an energy center, a chakra, which follows meridian paths to other minor, micro, and nano chakras in the organs. So your liver has 3 energy centers. It has 3 of them. You know, your heart has 4. Different organs actually have these energy centers, and we can interface with them, which is great without needles, without acupuncture, always, because some people do have a fear of that. And in the sessions that I provide, I also do counseling and do the different modalities of the layers of the cake to bring that person to complete healing.
That's great. So is this healing sustained? So for instance, you mentioned the woman that came, she had a 14-year chronic illness. You worked with her for 5 sessions. She was healed or cured or whatever that is, feeling better. Is that sustainable? Does it continue, or do you have to have continued sessions?
No, so it depends on the person. You can come in as a spa experience. There's a misbelieved concept that people have to be ill to come, and that's not true. It's just like going for a massage. Someone told me it was the deepest, greatest level of any spiritual massage she's ever had. They go into a theta state, brainwave state, and in theta, you go into more of a subconscious where you can, the practitioner is able to release these traumas on a subconscious level. What I love to do is provide teachings. I love to teach people. They don't just come to me to receive it. It's sustainable when you rewrite the programming. If they were a victim of an auto accident or a trauma, a sustained physical trauma, but most of our physical injuries come from the manifestations of the mind. It's what we've lived through. It's what we think on, what we ruminate on, what are our ruminating thoughts, what are our fears, what do we call them to ourselves? So what I love to do is bring someone in. Well, I have, forms that we go through on medical history and on trauma, psychological level, then assess the intake of the biofields of the body and the energy centers, cord attachments and blocks, do the treatment, but then they begin a journey with me in the shifting and changing and transformation of the mind. It's a reframing of the mind to shift what you're creating.
So you're working also with the subconscious though, right? So for instance, I don't know what I don't know. It's here, it's in me. I've, sustained this in my childhood. Maybe I had some trauma I don't remember. You can get to that. Is that true? You can help someone get to that and release that.
Yes, I actually had a social worker come to me. I've had 4 counselors come to me and send clients to me. I work concurrently with them to help. They're getting their traditional counseling sessions. I don't replace that. But what I do is I dig in a little further on an energetic level and help release that. So yes, to answer your question, it's by the reframing of the mind, we can shift out everything and we can get it to hold and change, because then you're not manifesting the same thing. When I had a woman come to me she was an alcoholic, and she came to try and, her sister gifted her 3 sessions, basically. She didn't even know why she was here. And in that state, what had happened was basically she had a trauma at the age of 3.5. And just by clearing the energy fields, it was witnessed, and I'll see this a lot. The trauma that was there may actually be briefly viewed and released in a detached witness perspective. And they just feel it releasing from the body and have an amazing peace. Because when you are trying to create these changes in the energy field, we're also so congested with blocked energies. By releasing them, we create this void space to therefore begin to put in the good and to reframe the mind to keep the patterns, to keep the hold. So I have people that have been with me to get through their situation, and then they may come once a month. They may come every 2 weeks. I have one guy who's a real intense business owner, multiple restaurants, and he's like, I have to be there every 2 weeks, no matter what. This is my balance. And so it varies person to person.
Yeah, well, that's terrific. I love that. Well, let's talk about the medical community. How have you been interfacing with them, and are you finding that they're very accepting and open to energy healing?
Yes, especially with the case, with the bronchiectasis case. Her family was in close observation. Her daughter, as an internist, was closely monitoring the interactions of this. The counselors and social workers, again, they see the dramatic shift and change with a client coming 3 times. I call it, it's beautiful in groups of 3,
Mhm.
because, and there's really something special at 6 visits. But on the first visit, it's the meet and greet, and there's more of the perspective of, what is she doing? What's going on? What am I expecting? Why is she not touching my body? What's happening? Am I really getting something? And then they go into that theta state and open up their eyes and relax and peaceful calm, a release. Some person can get the most dramatic shift in 1 session. Other people with walls up for a long sustained amount of time, they may require 2 or 3, maybe 6.
Mhm.
But each time on the second session, it was like, okay, I'm familiar with the space. Even we feel that way with restaurants, it's like, I'm familiar with the space. I think I like this. Let's do this again. And on the third time and on, it's like, oh, I can't wait to get to you. Can you please just do what you do, because it's so amazing and I feel so good, so free, and start seeing their lives shift and change, because it has a reactionary effect in everything they integrate with.
Yeah.
And
So, yeah. So I'm wondering, I'm thinking about, okay, the person that they sent their sister to you. Now, just maybe she was open, maybe she wasn't. But what if somebody said, look, you have to go see her because she's going to help you. What if they didn't believe it? Do they
I have
have,
many people.
does that patient have to believe that's
No,
going to happen? No.
no, gravity is gravity and energy is energy. It's either moving or stuck.
Mm.
And so, in fact, the person with the drinking, basically it was 3, maybe 4 sessions, and her whole life shifted and changed. And she was able to, she said she was like a remote control. Someone pressed pause, and she had been stuck for 3 years. And within 3 or 4 sessions, she knew immediately what to do. She kicked the guy out the house. She sold the house, bought a car, and she traveled. And she, was retired, but she had been paralyzed for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's, and then I have the pro athletes. They're not into all this stuff. Although I have one, they said they're waiting for me to come. It's like Princess Diana's coming. Come to find out, he's a Reiki level 1.
Oh, wow.
Like, oh, we could just sit all day and talk about energy. So I'm anxious to get to him. But no, they don't know anything. Another therapist brings me in when she sees it's needed. One of the examples was there was a pitcher in baseball who had chip bone in the elbow a year ago. He had all the therapy, the surgery, everything, and he couldn't get his stamina up and his pitch speed for innings and speed. And made a comment to someone and said, I just feel like these bones are still in my elbow, the chip bones. And they're like, okay, we need to bring her in. And within 3 sessions, it was, by the time I left that weekend, he was all good to go. And pitch speed up to 94 to 97, and did 6 innings. So it was great.
Wow. That's
3
so
days.
incredible.
And he had been a year with medical science.
Wow. See, so that's the thing, and it's like, though you hear these stories and it's like almost unbelievable. So some people don't believe it. And yet then we hear these things and it's like, of course we all look at it. It's almost like a miracle. Do you think that of it as a miracle, or how do you think of it?
Because it's not me. It's, we all are connected through coherence. Coherence is the morphic field around the earth, and we're all connected up to source, whether someone says God or Allah or supreme being or anything or nothing. We're all connected, whether it's acknowledged or not. And when we retract ourselves from the world, we hurt, we starve, we feel wounded, we feel empty. When we interface with the world in a positive light, more comes. When you go in a store and you smile, people smile back. You're
Yeah.
interfacing not just by visual cues, but by energy fields that are going out.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. I've experienced it also. I'm with you all the way on all of this. So thank you. I know that in this book, The Art and Truth of Transformation for Women, that's coming out soon, you shared a story, and your title of your chapter is The Awakening by Light, Love, and Fire. Tell me, what inspired you to share that story in this book?
As I witnessed my own life, my personal journey of healing and transformation, which was dramatic. It was a 6-year process after an auto accident. And myself being a healer in the church, I could lay hands on other people and it was amazing. But you ever have that big lighter that just won't flash anymore? I do this. And it just was like, what is wrong? And there was a season that I was supposed to sit. I was supposed to rest and grow, because now when someone comes and they feel depressed, I know what that feels like. When someone comes and they feel hopeless, I know what that feels like. When they feel despair and unworthy and unable to take care of their kids, I know what that feels like. So when they feel pain, I know where you are. And I usually get cases that are so extreme when they come. It's good for me when I share my story and they look at me like, well, wow, but you don't look like that. So every day that I do this and I work my arms over a client is a miracle. It's a miracle in my personal life because I did not have the required surgery to wire my scapula to my ribs. So to be able to do that I'm reliving that miracle every day.
Yeah. Beautiful. Now, do you work with clients only in person, or do you also work with them through Zoom or on the phone or something?
Right. It can happen in 3 ways, is what I like to say, is in person, on site, through distance on a Zoom call, and remote. Remote, it can be stuff work, which sounds kind of funny, but let's say mom is really concerned about their son and, the company they're keeping or things that they're doing. And I can go in with a name, birth date, and location of the physical body to scan and see what's going on. And then we talk and see if they want to come in for work or connect with me. Or let's say someone needs a healing session or rebalancing of the biofield, and we can't get together time-wise. We'll just set a knowledgeable day and time, and I'll send little prayer hands saying, be receptive to accept this healing. And what it does is it makes, when someone would say or think, I deeply, completely, and permanently accept this energy healing, it makes the cells more receptive.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Wow, the intentionality is all there. Beautiful. So, Darnell, this has been great. I love this. I know you have a gift for our listeners, so I'd love for you to tell us what that is and how they can get that.
Okay, great. So many people have so many questions about this unknown world that is really in a wave coming in, many waves. So I have a 15-minute, 20-minute free consultation for them. They can go to my website and send a little note to me and we can schedule it for them. And I let someone ask a little more specific questions that maybe I haven't tapped on today, and to tell me a little bit about themselves. And I can let them know just what my intention would be and how I think I may be able to help them.
Awesome. I love that. And what is your website?
Okay, DarnellGouzy.com, DarnellGouzy.com.
I love that. And Darnell, I know that you're working on a whole bunch of products, new products that you're really excited about, and that's going to be available in a couple of months. And how can people learn more about what you're doing and more about those products as well?
Okay, they can go to my website and put an inquiry. With the products work within the energy fields, the biofields. It's products that people can buy and have at home for themselves. It's along a premise of far infrared, of photon red light therapy for muscle recovery. My husband and I have amazing mats. We have small, medium, large, mini for travel, and shoulder cuffs, knee wraps, ankle wraps, for feet, for neuropathy, working with people. This came to me in sessions when I could see the need, and I wanted to, as someone would come in and provide additional support for them at home. Also, just the beauty of having those warm mats to lay on. So
Beautiful. I love it. Well, Darnell, as always, I love talking with you. Thank you so much. I love the information that you share, the energy that you share, and also that accent that you have. I just love it. It's all very warm and cozy to me. So thank you so much. I appreciate you.
thank you, Sue. I appreciate you too.
Right. And listeners, thank you. I appreciate you being here today. I appreciate your energy towards your own transformation and towards opening to the beauty of life in every moment of every day. So thank you for being here, sharing in with me with all of these wonderful authors and these interviews. And also be sure to buy this book, The Art and Truth of Transformation for Women, on launch day, which is October 20th. You go to our website, transformation-book.com. On October 20th, we will guide you to Amazon to buy the book. When you come back with your Amazon receipt number and put that in, you will be able to have access to more than 35 gifts, beautiful gifts from our authors and partners. You can have one gift, you can have 35, whatever you want. So you get this wonderful book, these wonderful gifts, and boy, you're going to be set. You're going to love it. So thank you all so much for being here. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Bye for now.